of Duty Ghosts hasn't even been out for 2 weeks yet, and I'm already anxiously anticipating its DLC, with the hopes that the DLC will remedy some of these problems that we have with the maps and the spawns, and my overall interest in the game. What's going on, you guys? It's StrangeLuv here, and first off, I want to thank all of you guys who gave me so much feedback on my last commentary about the bad maps and spawns in Call of Duty Ghosts. It's really great to hear that a lot of you guys are having the same frustrations that I have towards the Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer. So for this commentary, I wanted to briefly readdress some of those issues in light of some of the new information we've gotten about Call of Duty Ghosts in the past couple weeks that the game's been out. Now, in my last commentary, I was pretty frustrated with the fact that Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer has some pretty large maps, and they're not really suitable for the 6v6 lobbies that we're stuck with on the current-gen consoles. Now, at the time, I didn't know that the PC version of COD Ghosts actually has Ground War, so I figured that would be worth mentioning here for some of you who didn't know that already, and if you're still thinking about getting COD Ghosts on the PC, that's good information to know if you're into Ground War. Also, they're supposed to have Ground War on the next-gen versions of the game, which I also did not know at the time, but apparently Infinity Ward gave us the excuse that the current-gen consoles can't handle 18-player Ground War lobbies with our new Call of Duty engine, which I think is a crock of shit for a couple reasons. Okay, every single Call of Duty since COD 4 has had an 18-player Ground War mode in their playlists, and you're trying to tell us now that somehow your newfangled engine is just so much for the current-gen consoles to handle that you can't have an extra 3 players on each team. Come on now, how dumb do you think we are? Hell, I went back and played Call of Duty 3 the other day, and even though that was one of, the worst Call of Duties ever, their maps were freaking gigantic, and you want to know how many people were on each team? 12. 12v12 in a Call of Duty with massive maps with vehicles. No less. So I really don't buy it. I don't buy the fact that they can't have an extra 3 players on each team on the current-gen consoles, because they've done it with an old Call of Duty, and granted, that Call of Duty wasn't, super high graphic fidelity or whatever, but they were still able to have 24-player lobbies. Plus, even before Call of Duty Ghosts came out, they said that it's not technically a new engine. They're just calling it a new engine because they tweaked their old Call of Duty engine. So it's technically new, but it's not new. And it's not like they're trying to run CryEngine or even Frostbite 3, which Battlefield 4 and Crysis 3 both run large lobbies on multiplayer. On current-gen consoles, they're both able to run at least 10 or 12 people on each team, and those are games that are actually graphically demanding. So I feel like if Crysis 3 and Battlefield 4 can have 24-player lobbies, and hell, they had COD 3 with 24-player lobbies, you can do it right now with Ghosts on current-gen. They just don't want to. And I also kind of feel like it's a conspiracy type thing. Not really a conspiracy, I don't know what to call it, but one of those things where they just want you to go and buy all their stuff on next gen. Like, they thought about the current gen Call of Duty Ghosts as an afterthought, as just an extra cash cow to get a last little bit of money out of the Xbox 360 and the PS3 before they move on to all of their next gen stuff and put all of their focus in that. And being that I'm a fairly devoted Call of Duty player, I feel a little frustrated by this because I feel like I've been slightly misled by this potential marketing strategy between how they represented Call of Duty Ghosts on current gen and next gen. And I know that Infinity Ward's probably really excited to showcase their game on the next-gen consoles, so of course that's where all of their focus is gonna go. But I also feel like all of us who are still stuck on the current-gen consoles, who either can't afford new consoles or just don't want to buy a new one, we've kind of been left behind because they've thought of Call of Duty Ghosts as an afterthought on the current-gen consoles. At least that's how it seems to me. But whatever the case may be, it doesn't seem like they're going to change the multiplayer too much for the current-gen consoles, so we're pretty much stuck with how it is. So now, I'm really looking forward to their DLC, which, again, it's pretty sad that I'm looking forward to DLC since the game has only been out for not even 2 weeks now, but I'm just that bored and that frustrated with the multiplayer that I'm hoping that they implement some new maps that can help alleviate some of these problems that we have on the current-gen consoles. So hopefully in the DLC they'll do one of two things, if not both. First off, I'm hoping that they put in some smaller maps, ones that are around the size of Strike Zone, or bring back some of the smaller maps that people are used to, ones that are more suitable for 6v6 lobbies since we don't get any Ground War on the current-gen consoles. or that they implement Face-Off, because in Modern Warfare 3 that was part of the DLC. They added the Face-Off playlist that offered 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and if they did put Face-Off like they did last time, they probably would put in maps that are small and designed specifically for Face-Off, just like last time, which I think was a great idea. And really, since they knew that they weren't going to have ground war on the current gen version of the game, they could have added like 1 or 2 smaller maps to sort of balance out the fact that most of the maps are mid to large range and they don't really work when you have 6v6. They could have just added a little bit more. Now I would like to add that the freefall map absolutely sucks balls. I really don't like that map. Even though it's small, it's just covered in garbage. There's too much stuff. It's really, really hard to see people, and that's another frustration that I haven't mentioned in my last commentary. It's really hard to see people in this game. They blend in so much with the background that, especially when you're playing like really large maps and they're sniping from a really far distance, you're getting shot by a microscopic little dot. And even if you have like a big 60-inch plasma screen, it's going to be really hard to see those people sometimes. And so I just think they could have, you know, amped up the brightness of the characters or something, just so it's not so damn impossible to see people. And it just makes the map and the spawn problems that much worse when you're getting shot by some microscopic camper off in the distance. So I don't know if that's something they could fix with a patch or whatever, but I do have high hopes for the DLC whenever that comes out, because I feel like smaller, newly designed maps will really alleviate a lot of the problems that I've been having with the Ghost multiplayer. And apparently there's been a recent information leak regarding some of the names of the upcoming DLC maps, and one of them is called Dome, so a lot of people are speculating that Dome is making a return to Call of Duty Ghosts as a DLC, and there were some other names leaked as well, like Boneyard and some other ones I can't remember. But this is still a rumor, so take this information with a grain of salt, as always. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and please let me know down in the comments if you're getting bored with Call of Duty Ghosts, or if you're just loving the shit out of the game, or just what you think of it so far. And if you agree or disagree with anything I said about the maps, I'd like to hear that as well, because I appreciate all of your feedback and support. So once again, thanks for watching, stay strange my loves, and until next time, this is StrangeLuv signing out.